Welcome to the Off Script Podcast. We're so glad you're here on this Wednesday.
You had to think about that for a second.
I still wasn't that sure about it.
If you've never joined us before, Off Script is our neighborhood news podcast where we take a close look at what's going on in your neighborhoods through the lens of our community correspondents, because they live in your neighborhood, work in your neighborhood. They have dedicated communities that they cover. So that's what we're doing today.
That's right. And let's start somewhere between Fort Myers and Cape Coral, where this is a huge talker. Our community correspondent, Anvar Ruziev, covered this story. Cape Coral Bridge, which so many of us use every single day.
Literally.
Going away, but for good reason, depending on who you ask.
Right. So, they looked at, I guess it's already like a decade. One span is already a decade past where it should be for getting replaced or updated. So, Lee County Commissioners voted that they're just going to replace the bridge.
Right.
Not Midpoint. We're talking the one that's at Cape Coral Parkway that goes on to College. And so they started to share some renderings. They're looking at 3 lanes in each direction, pedestrian and bike walkways, lighting, all the stuff. So the price tag was just under $500 million. I know that sounds like a big number, but when you're looking at constructing a whole new bridge.
Sure.
The other number that they looked at was much cheaper, which was repairing the bridge. But here's why they decided to move forward with replacing it. It's because it will last for 75 years. If they repair it for 32 some odd million, I think it was, it only lasts for 20 years.
We'll be having the conversation again.
Right. So where does, somebody's always got the other side of the story, right? People who are concerned. Calusa Yacht and Racket Club is one of the gated communities that sits literally right there, kind of like it's like at the overpass, right?
It's where the light is.
It's where the light is, but that light under this proposed design will go away. So people who live, or maybe you've driven into Calusa Yacht and Racket Club, they're like, wait a second, that's going to be tough coming in and out of the community without a light. That's one concern we're hearing. But I'm sure there will be more concerns moving forward because this is a big project.
Right. I was also seeing some people commenting on Facebook asking about tolls and what will that look like moving forward? Will there still be a toll to cross the bridge? And what would that number look like? Excuse me while I don't pass out on here.
She has a frog in her throat. I do. It's like the princess and the frog. So, construction on this, there are still so many phases that have to happen as far as designs and approval. But long and short, in a nutshell, Lee County Commission was like, yeah, let's move forward. We're replacing it. 2028, so we're going into 2026, 2028 is when they're saying construction would most likely begin. So we're still looking at a hot minute before construction would start and before, it would take a long time to build this.
Yeah.
What they would do is shut down one direction of the bridge and build the new portion and then demolish that once the new portion is done. So it go in phases.
I'm glad you said that about the timeline too, because a lot of the conversation on social this morning was like, oh my gosh, what's this going to do to traffic with back to school? And it's like, this is not happening.
No.
Immediately. There's still a lot that needs to be worked out.
Yeah.
But obviously traffic will continue to still be a concern because we're only going to keep growing. So I do understand that concern, but it's not an immediate concern.
Well, and it's a double-edged sword, right? You have the traffic build up when there's the construction, and it will get worse. But then the reason they're widening it to 3 lanes in each direction is because if you live in Cape Coral and you drive into Fort Myers, you know that bottleneck. I mean, you have to leave what should be with no traffic a 15-minute drive takes 45 minutes to an hour.
Crazy.
Because it's a bottleneck. So this is designed supposedly to eliminate some of that.
Right.
There's always going to be opinions on both sides.
You know it, girl.
Southwest Florida's growing. I mean, when I was in high school, Cape High, go Seahawks, the Midpoint Bridge didn't even exist, so.
We've talked about this before. I remember the opening day ceremony of the Midpoint Bridge.
I used to have to take Archer and the horseshoes, that's what they called it, to get to school. Because, you couldn't just go up Del Prado and jump on Veterans. It didn't exist. You had to, go through all the neighborhoods.
Crazy.
Dating myself.
It's okay. It's okay.
So anyway, I mean, Southwest Florida's growing. There's no stopping it, my friends.
All right, let's go to Boca Grande. Our Alex Orenchuk, community correspondent out there, giving us an update on parking in that community. Man, this is a continued conversation because there was a win for the community and for Boca Grande, and now there's a little bit of a setback when it comes to parking. Depending on who you ask, it's a setback.
There's always two sides.
Paying for parking at Boca Grande.
So the long and short of it, I suppose, is a bunch of public parking is going away on Boca Grande, right? So like from 1st to 19th, all of the public parking that was there is a goner. Lee County Commission approved that. They also approved that downtown, when you park, there is a 3-hour time limit now, unless you have a special little decal. So it's like people who I think work there. I'd have to look. There's a list of different people. But obviously, there's two sides. There's like preserving the small community feel and vibe on Boca Grande. And then there's the other side, like, wait a second, this is a public, commodity, if you will. And people who live nearby, maybe in Charlotte County, technically Boca Grande's in Lee County, right? Because you go like up and over and down to get onto it.
Right.
But they're like, wait, we want to be able to use this. This is public. And now where am I supposed to park? And business owners are like a little worried. Where are they going to park to come eat at my restaurant or shop? So, yeah, we're hearing from a lot of people on this one.
Obviously, listen, when you say that there are two sides to the story, it's real because I felt, remember that woman that was in Alex's story and she said like, something about like you're creating access for just the rich, right? Instead of the everyday person. And I felt her when she said that because again, when you live in these areas, you want to know, a lot of people choose these areas to live because they have that access to and from the beach.
It's beautiful.
It's so gorgeous at Boca Grande.
Here's the one like point that I really want to stress with this. This new rule with the public parking, like the elimination of it, it starts next week.
Right.
So this is something like you need to be aware of right now because
you could face serious fines.
Yeah, it's like between $200 and $500 fines. Like if you park and you block a driveway, it's like a $500 fine. Oh, so I would just say be aware. The changes have been made.
Right. It's done.
So just know 3-hour downtown limit unless you have a decal. Public parking. Give yourself some extra time because there is still public parking, but a lot of it was eliminated.
Fort Myers Beach is getting a little bit of a change.
Yeah, this is another one.
Yeah, we have like a lot of development stories and changes and all that stuff in our community today. Do you know this old beach theater site right here?
I do.
It's like a staple Fort Myers Beach, part of the Fort Myers Beach history. Well, it's turning into a fancy venue.
Like a entertainment/food venue. Yeah. And this has been approved. The parking lot right now as it sits, if you've ever been to the theater area, it's big.
Yeah.
But the talk is to kind of downsize the parking lot by 32%, and they would have valet and off-site parking. When you hear entertainment, you see like outdoor seating, you think about like live music and whatnot. That's what some of the longtime residents who live near that area, because the theater, okay,
it's
fine,
quiet.
You might have cars come and park, but they go inside and it's quiet. It's quiet for the most part.
Right.
But if you have people enjoying themselves, having drinks, live entertainment, it's a totally different vibe. So the other complaint that we heard was from people who live nearby, not only worried about like what this is going to noise level be like, but seasonal residents who weren't here to kind of give their opinion because they're up north or whatever right now. So construction and the change for the theater is set to start like close to the new year. So again, this is another one that's moving forward, but people are definitely feeling excited. And depending on where you live, if you're nearby, a little stressed.
It's kind of the conversation we had, post Ian with all of the new developments that have come to Fort Myers Beach, Margaritaville. I mean, it's the same thing of like moving forward with Fort Myers Beach and what it could look like moving forward / preserving the Fort Myers Beach old school vibe.
It's what we said as soon as we saw all the destruction that happened after Ian. Like, what is it going to look like in 2-3 years? And now here we are. We're starting to see the bigger developments, So, and that's the fight. The town council and a lot of, little organizations on the town are trying to keep that vibe, that feel. Like, okay, build this, but we don't want it high rises. Right. We want it lower and the cottagey feel. So we'll have to see how this moves forward, but it's been approved, so.
Do you want to continue our community by community tour of upgrades and changes and things?
I could do that if you want me to.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Can you take us to Lehigh Acres?
I mean, I feel like you should since that's where you were born.
All right. So good morning to all my Lehigh people. I think this story is very interesting. So our Victoria Quevedo, who is our Lehigh Acres correspondent, covered a story about a site that this school district of Lee County already owns. This is at Tuckahoe and Joel Boulevard. If you're familiar with this area, it's kind of towards the end of Joel Boulevard. And really, this is technically Alva, okay?
Right.
So there's this new site. There's going to be is it a new high school that's going up
Yes,
there?
high school.
And,
It's happening.
it's already underway. The concern here is that we've seen so many new families and a huge population growth throughout Southwest Florida, including Lehigh Acres. And people are like, listen, this location is so like Alva
Far.
area versus where a lot of the population is and where the need is in
Right.
Lehigh. So you're seeing a lot of people on social talking about this today. Like, listen, yes, we need a new school. This is not the location for it. And it also doesn't have like the infrastructure, like water, some of the utilities out there. So they would literally be starting from scratch whereby there's another location in Lehigh that's a little more inland, kind of like inland Joel, if you will, where people are saying it should be here because the feeder schools are here. Say you have kids in different age groups.
Yeah.
You're able to, get around a little easier than if you have to drive out darn near Alva to get
Right.
your kid to school.
Yeah, the complaint is that it's not near the neighborhoods, but what the Lee County School District is saying is they own, like you said, that piece of land already, and they said moving the site and not moving forward with building the high school where it is currently going to be built would delay it by 4 years.
Right.
And they're like, we don't have
The need
4
is
years.
now.
Lehigh is growing, and yes, it may be a little bit of a commute, but they say this is part of a much larger plan. Lee County is a huge school district, so
Yeah.
they're constantly looking at building and growing and adding as more students move to the area. So,
It's underway. I mean, the
happening.
school's going to open in 2027.
right, crazy,
Crazy. The growth is crazy, I think.
it really is.
Also, who would have thought like that area, that's like almost near like Palm Beach Boulevard. Who would have thought that area would be so populated, like there would be a school and all these things there, but like that's
Remember,
where we're
like
going.
back in the day, it was even Cape Coral. There were fields as far as you could see.
Yes. When I looked up this location, I was like, oh, that's where me and my mom and my grandfather used to go get honey. Do you know what I mean?
Aw,
Like
yeah.
that's how rural it is. They
Yeah.
they raise bees out there.
Yeah,
They grow bees.
they do grow bees. Not really, but you know what I mean. The bees are important. We love the bees. Speaking of school, just real quick reminder. I mean, I hope you know this if you have kids, but school starts on Monday. Like, just, make sure they have clean socks and underwear.
You know why that's not funny? Because I did see in a mom's group where someone was asking when school starts, so it's actually probably not funny.
They're living their best life and enjoying their summer.
Yeah, but school does start on Monday.
Yeah, it does. That's real.
Yeah. Back to school special is going to be pretty neat, though, because we're covering community by community.
Yes.
We have our senior reporter, Emily Young, who's going to be out in the field holding things down while you're back here in the station doing the holding down that you do every single day. And then we have our community correspondents from each community almost live, giving you exactly what it's looking like in your neighborhood and your communities. It's gonna be cool.
It's going to be fun. So make sure you tune in for that. All kinds of good information for you, especially as you're heading out the door. Trent's going to be watching the
Ooh,
traffic too,
yes.
because it changes as soon as those buses are on
Yes.
the roads. So let's talk about raw milk.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
This is in the news lately because like 21 people got really sick because this is in Florida, by the way. They drank raw milk, which is a thing. Some
Yeah.
people, like, not a whole lot of people. I would say like 4% of the population in the U.S. drinks raw milk. So raw milk is unpasteurized milk. Pasteurized means that they heat it up, boil that sucker basically to kill all the bacteria and the nasty stuff in it, the salmonella, the E. coli, because, it's coming from an animal and
Straight from the animal.
animals poop and,
Right,
whatever.
right.
So anyway, all of the raw milk in question that got these people sick, which a lot of children were on the list, a lot of them hospitalized, it's all from one farm. So the health department's like, okay, we're worried about the sanitation at this farm. So it's something they're talking about. Florida does allow raw milk to be sold as a pet food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not supposed to necessarily be consumed by humans on a regular basis. So far, they're not naming the farm, so we don't know which one it is. But some people tout like health benefits for drinking raw milk because you're like, why wouldn't you just buy the milk at the store? I don't have time for anything other than that because I can't even keep up with life.
Yeah,
but
same.
some people say there's like probiotic benefits, or I've even seen people claim like it can cure lactose intolerance, or that it tastes better because it's, from the source, if you will. But if you read studies from a lot of the different universities and from the health departments, they basically say, no, it doesn't cure lactose intolerant. And technically there aren't any probiotics because probiotics don't grow in food. That's like from fermented food, if you will. It kind of has to be added.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say if you're drinking raw milk, I don't know.
The question, it's like a huge question too, because like you said, they haven't said which particular farm it was, which
Right.
particular product it is.
Most of the sick were in central and northern Florida in this case. So I feel like Southwest Florida is good to go right now. But just, something to be aware of if you're one of those people that likes to drink raw milk and enjoy the benefits, whatever you think they are, of
Yeah.
drinking raw milk. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
It's up for you.
I'm lactose intolerant, so there's a lot of almond milk in my life.
Same here, girl. I'm almond girl all the way, almond milk girl.
Have you ever made your own almond milk?
No, I haven't reached that level.
I one time did, and I was like,
That's when you put
that's it? Like it made the
because
smallest
it's-
amount.
Don't you put it in like a thing and then you let it soak?
And then sometimes it depends what type of recipe you're doing. Like you put it in almost like a cheesecloth and you can
Yes.
squeeze them, but then you can blend it too and
Okay.
puree it. And it's a pain
girl.
in the butt. It's been a minute since I've done it.
Publix is probably just gonna get my $4.96 and keep it pushing. It's
expensive.
Yeah, girl, it is expensive.
It's expensive to be lactose intolerant. Speaking of which, not only physical health, let's talk about mental health.
Yeah, so ChatGPT has added a mental health feature encouraging breaks after long sessions. And I'm a ChatGPT girl. You kind of are too at this point. Come here, girl.
Just a little.
It's okay. Big difference from when we started. But I think this is healthy because I find Allie, also our producer, was saying today how much she uses ChatGPT, and you use it in different aspects of your life. And sometimes you can go down a rabbit hole. Maybe you're planning, I don't know, to go back to school or whatever it is, and you're planning out so much. You can find yourself spending, an hour in the same chat or session. So I think a break is a healthy reminder to just kind of put it down for a second, and it'll be cool to see the prompt remind you to do that.
So ChatGPT is now doing that?
Yes. It'll be like
hey,
a
take a
pop-up
break,
reminder.
Shari.
Yeah, like just checking in. Hey, do you think it's time for a break? And then you can be like, oh, yeah, or no, let's keep banging it out.
Kind of like Netflix does that. Like, are you still watching?
And why are you still watching?
'Cause you've
really
Seen
spent
6
your-
episodes already? Like,
day
maybe you should go to
watching
bed.
this. Yes.
That is very interesting to me. I think that's a great idea. I wonder why all like social media doesn't do that.
On like Instagram, for instance, it gives you, what's that thing, guys, where it tells you like your screen time or whatever, like the Apple devices do as well. And sometimes I'm just like, I can't believe I spent this amount of time like scrolling or
Yes.
doing whatever. But a lot of the times too, I like to say it's justified because a lot of the times we're looking for work or we're looking for events.
Right.
So taking all of that into consideration. But I think it's healthy to just kind of take a look and seeing like how much time you're spending. Sometimes I look up and everybody in my family is on the phone. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
We're
real.
There's some game that's being played or chat or emails, it's business too, but a little reminder I think is healthy.
I agree. We went out, we don't have a boat, but we went out on our friend's boat over the weekend and another friend had their boat. So my son was on the other boat, not
Yeah,
with us,
yeah.
and I look over and my husband and I look over and he's like looking at his phone and from across the water, he's like, get off
That's right, Dad. That's right, Dad. Because not us being out here in the Gulf of Mexico
I mean,
in a boat.
granted, he was probably just looking at a text from some cute girl he likes, but I was like, there you have it.
I know,
Get off
that's
the phone
right.
and enjoy nature.
That's right.
Look around a little bit.
Come on. Exactly.
So I want to go to Pine Island now. So we have our Cape Coral community correspondent, Bella Line, but she also covers Mount Lachey and Pine Island because obviously that area is all close together. So portions of Pine Island, Mount Lachey, St. James City are built up, right? But still, it's got like a rural feel
Absolutely.
overall.
You can go pick mangoes out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So people in Bokeelia, just a little concerned because there's a proposal to put up a 150-foot cell phone tower on agricultural land. And, if you've ever been out on St. James City, Mount Lachey, Pine Island, they definitely need better cell phone service. I'm always
That's
like,
right.
I can't even text someone, or especially forget it if there's a storm. But other people worry. They're like, wait a second, I bought here. I don't want to be looking at a 150-foot cell phone tower. This is going to change the whole landscape of this area. So they're like, wait a second, why do we have to put it on this agricultural land? Why can't we put it maybe on a commercial site that was damaged during Ian? Or, they're just hoping that there could be somebody.
You got it.
There could be somewhere else to put it.
There it goes. And it was kind of like a vibe when you did that. Yes, girl. Yeah. Love her.
Shari's my favorite cheerleader.
I got you, girl. But the other side of this, it's true, the aesthetic of it, but also the National Association of Realtors according to data from that organization, they say when there's a tower like this, it impacts your property value.
Oh,
of
for
course,
sure, right?
So that's the other concern here is like not just taking away from the rural, peaceful, mango-y vibes of this area, but also if I buy land here, the last thing I want to see, especially it's so beautiful out here, the last thing I want to see is my property value decrease because of this tower.
So they tried to do this about 20 years ago in the same
Yes.
area.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Well,
In
there
the
was
same
one
area, yes, you're
and
right.
in Collier County.
Exactly, you're
Yeah.
exactly right.
So, I mean, because, as we grow and
We need cell phone service.
face down in our cell phones,
Yeah.
right? Like you need cell phone service. But about 20 years ago, there was a very similar conversation on Pine Island about putting up a cell phone tower, and the people were able to rally enough that they shut it down. It
Right.
didn't happen.
Right.
But
Right.
here we are 20 years later, more cell phones need better service, and the conversation's happening again. Bella, because she works and lives in that area, she reached out to the company that's behind this proposal of this cell phone tower, and so far she hasn't heard back yet.
Okay.
So, this story's not done yet. Obviously, this is just a proposal, but she's going to follow that closely and see what happens. Change is hard,
Come on.
right? Like everything we're talking about is change. And that's the moral of the story.
Well, so a lot of these locations that you're talking about on Pine Island, you're talking about generations of families that have
Yep.
been here as well.
Yeah. And if you're out there and you're in your little fishing village,
Come on, disconnected from the world.
right, you don't want to be like, oh,
Exactly.
Exactly. What are you doing this weekend?
Oh, I have to tell you about this event that I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip to then F up. Okay.
Oh, I saw this. I was
Okay.
going to put this in my got plans, but it
It's
alludes
gotta-
to a bad word. And I was like, I can't put that on TV.
So let me explain it. If you're scrolling through Facebook and you're looking for events, you could just keep on the logo because I just figured we could just like talk about it.
Yeah.
This one's called F up, like the cuss word up. All right. And when you hear that, it kind of sounds like it's a twerk contest. Like everybody come and we're gonna F it up, right?
Twerk?
Yeah, that's what they say in the streets. Like let's.
Like that?
It was Neha's. Oh. Wait, like that? Yeah, that was a really good example. Just like the girls in the music videos. That was really good.
Oh.
You can always leave it up to Amy to keep it 1,000%, and we love
forget
that.
sometimes that I'm doing a
Like,
live
this is like-
podcast.
This is our livelihood. Anyway, so it's not that. It's not going to be that.
Okay, thank
It's
God.
actually It's actually going to be business like leaders and CEOs, local business. They are still in the corner laughing.
can't.
We will be clipping that. So it's actually 3 business leaders and CEOs, right?
Okay.
And they will be speaking at the Alliance for the Arts, and they're essentially talking about when you F up and how to recover from that in the work setting.
And why it's good for that to happen?
What you can learn from that.
Yeah.
Right?
Because we
What
all
to
do,
learn-
right?
Absolutely. I mean, like twerking on, Facebook at your job. Good morning, Melinda.
Hi, Melinda.
Good morning.
Is Melinda on Facebook? We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. If you didn't know, maybe you're watching us on fox4now.com. Hi, Melinda. Could you please defend me with my little seat twerk? Because I've got 3 women in the room here just kind of
I was all for it. It was our producer Neha who was like, "Do not do that again." So anyway, the event is it's like supposed to be transparent. It takes place like across the country, actually, like multiple cities. And
Oh, I
this
love
is
that.
our local like spot, the Alliance for the Arts. This is volume 10 of it. So they've been doing it for a while. And they say, come on in and literally just listen to these people talk about people who are leading like top organizations in our community, talk about when they've messed up or challenges that they've had and how they've overcome them. It's really easy to see these people on social media and think they've like got it together. Then you hear their story and they're like, oh shoot, you're like a person just like me.
Everyone messes up.
100%. I can think of 1,000 times, probably today, you know?
Oh, for sure. So this is Friday.
Yes, this is Friday,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, Alliance for the Arts.
Okay.
I would encourage you to purchase a ticket in advance, and if you just go to the Alliance website, you can do that. But it's a kind of a cool, like, that's my little mature thing that I'm doing.
I love that. Are you
Thank
going?
so much. Yes.
I might. Okay.
You should,
Well, it's at 6. Do I have to bring my son to football practice? Maybe, but we'll see.
yeah,
Maybe I could get someone else to take him.
and you should come. I think it's healthy for all of us.
I agree with that. I wanted to try that new restaurant in downtown, and I don't know how to say it.
OC,
OC?
OC Restaurante.
So it's got Italian and sushi,
Yes.
and
It's
like this
Asian
is a thing
fusion.
out of Japan.
Yes.
So I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, they have a 6 o'clock reservation or an 8 o'clock reservation. Do I make that reservation? I'm more of like the in between 7 o'clock, but whatever, it is what it is. But just down the street from there, Bay Street Yard.
Yeah.
Been there? I haven't been there yet.
Okay, so I've been to Bay Street Yard.
Okay.
It's a good time. Like they do such a great job at Bay Street Yard of mixing it up.
Yeah.
So you might have like a rock night, or you might have like a reggae night, or hip hop old school night, different DJs and stuff like that. And so it attracts like different crowds, and I
love it.
love that, right? Because we don't want to see the same people all the time or hear the
No.
same music all the time. We want to hear rock and everything in between. But they also have six food trucks in the back as
Yes.
well. So you can eat there, you can grab drinks at the bar. They also have like an upstairs location. And so a lot of times like different companies will rent out this upstairs location.
Like a partay?
Yeah. One of the
Fox
private
4.
yeah. Come here, my girl. I know that's right. Hey, Fox 4. So it's a good vibe. It's all open air, so it's nice.
So today's Wednesday. Tomorrow they are having karaoke night.
Yes.
Okay. But it's at 10 o'clock at night.
So we aren't going to be there.
Yeah, are you a karaoke person?
I
See, I am way too shy for that, which I know. Okay. I like with singing, I am so shy.
This girl sings all the time.
Off key.
They're like shaking their head sometimes,
That's
but
because
for
you
the
guys
most
are
part,
like
you got it.
family, you know?
You need to. Karaoke is so freeing. Sometimes I find myself freezing up, and then I'm like, why do you talk to people? It is different talking to a camera like every day versus talking, seeing all these reactions. And sometimes this girl got up there. I went to what's that little pizza place?
Mona Lisa.
Yes. Why would I
That's
say
where
that?
I used to go all the time.
Girl, that is the spot. Mona Lisa in Fort Myers, in the same plaza as Ember.
Yep.
In Fort Myers, not too far from Bell Tower. And they do karaoke well. It's always packed. This girl went before me, girl. She sounded like Whitney Houston herself.
Really?
I was like, can you take my name off the list?
Yeah, that's
because I
awkward.
was going to sing Valerie.
By Amy Winehouse?
The way you made that face was like you were going to sing that.
I wouldn't pick that song. I would
me?
pick like
What would you pick? What would you pick for me to sing?
No, I wouldn't pick something that has such like Amy Winehouse has the most beautiful voice.
It's like the vibe that it creates. Like,
Yeah. No.
yes, yeah. And you want a karaoke song that gets everybody hype. You know what I mean? So,
Sure.
But that girl went in there and I was like, man, but it doesn't matter because, everyone's just cheering for everyone. People are drinking. It's just the vibe of karaoke.
Yeah.
I am literally going to challenge you to do karaoke. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but I'm going to challenge you to do it because I think you should. Neha was just talking about doing karaoke too, right?
This is stressing me out already.
Yeah, Neha's down and Allie's down, so we could just record it.
I might have to have like a glass of wine or two before I do
That's
that.
normally what it takes. Don't worry about it. But it's karaoke night tomorrow at Bay Street Yard, which is so cool. They have a dope stage, and it's always like a good time. You guys have been to Bay Street Yard, right? It's a good time.
I don't get out much. So maybe I'll go there this weekend when I go out to dinner downtown. We'll see.
OC Restaurant does look like a vibe. It looks really good, right? And it's right
where
where
Blue Sushi used to be.
Exactly.
And they ripped up the floors and they kept the original flooring. Like they found it and they're like, oh, beautiful. It's like these
Stop.
tiny little tiles. So that is
Beautiful.
the original
Beautiful.
from whatever was there before.
Right.
And then the vibe is like beautiful greenery on the
that.
walls.
Love
And yeah,
the aesthetic.
I want to totally check it out. Also, Friday in downtown Cape Coral. This sounds like so much fun. This is like an afternoon, early evening event. It's called Bubbles and Besties. So you take your friends, and this is a boutique crawl.
Yes, not a pub crawl. Boutique crawl.
But you still,
Yeah, right.
you
Of
know,
course.
have a few.
Bubbles.
So you wear pink and red.
Yeah.
You go through downtown Cape Coral, and at every little boutique, they're trying to like get people to go to these small businesses
That's
and
right.
check them out.
That's
but you
right.
get sips
Yes.
at every stop.
Yes.
And so you get a free gift with purchase, and you could win a $50 gift card. How fun is that?
Raffles, and they're literally saying like, if you're a mom, if you're busy with back to school, like whatever you have going on, they want you to come to this.
Yeah.
they want you to just have a good time with your girlfriends, and they're saying what is it, red and pink?
Red and pink, yeah.
So
It's like
sounds a good
Valentine's
time.
Day
Yeah.
in August.
Yeah, with your glass, just going store to store. I'm with that.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, that is 2 to 8 p.m. on Friday, downtown Cape.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. And I have not a single one of these on my Got Plans for this weekend. There's a lot going on this weekend, which is interesting because we're still in that like weird summer vibe where there's not a
Yes.
ton of festivals and
Right,
stuff.
but there's still so much to do.
there's so much to do, and I know everyone's going to be busy getting all the back to school stuff done.
Yeah, lots of back to school events as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about tomorrow. And you'll have those covered as well.
Yeah.
We got you.
We got you. I'm feeling super self-conscious about my chair twerk now.
Oh, you should, because we're gonna probably clip that and keep that forever.
Okay.
especially Neha's reaction. That was like my favorite part. I wish you guys out at home could see it.
It's kind of like,
One thing about Neha, she wears all of her like thoughts on her face, just like Amy actually. And Neha was.
I didn't know that about
shocked.
myself until a couple years ago, actually.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
You wear the whole like whatever you're thinking is right here, baby.
Awkward. Anyway, well, we appreciate you joining us for our neighborhood news podcast, Off Script. We're going to be back with you tomorrow at 10 in the morning, so you can stream us on fox4now.com, Facebook, or YouTube. But for the rest of the hour, we're going to give you some news of the day.
That's right. Have a good day, Southwest Florida.
Bye, guys.